Have you ever wanted all of your resources, ingredients, meals, and materials in the same place? Are you tired of navigating multiple rooms when gathering favorite gifts or emptying your pockets? Does the idea of an everything storage room sound appealing? If you answered yes to any of these questions, today's video is for you. Before we begin, there's a few things I'd like to address. First off, having an everything storage room does not mean you can't still have themed storage rooms within your valley. In fact, I encourage you to keep your themed storage rooms if you have them, as they will still provide very useful utility. We'll elaborate on that a bit later in the video. The next thing I'd like to address is the idea of storage floating islands. The addition of floating islands to Disney Dreamlight Valley has been a game changer, and anyone with more than 2 brain cells should know you could fit way more storage on a floating island than you ever could fit into a single room. So this begs the question, why even make an everything storage room? Why not just make a storage floating island? Well, put simply, storage islands just don't work for my playstyle. My favorite feature in all of Dreamlight Valley is Dreamsnaps, and I almost always use my floating islands to create my Dreamsnaps builds. Because of this, I prefer to keep all of my floating islands open, and therefore stray away from creating any permanent builds within these islands. I love the idea of storage islands, as they are incredibly efficient, so please don't assume I'm against them. They're just not for me, and I'd rather keep my storage indoors. I've created this guide for other like-minded players who share this sentiment and prefer indoor storage solutions. With that out of the way, let's get started. The first step to building our room will be maximizing its storage potential by increasing its size. Once you select your room, visit your house editor and adjust the room size to 12 by 12. With the room size adjusted, our next task will be to select our wallpaper, flooring, and lighting. Keep in mind, you can pretty much use whatever you fancy, as this has no impact on the room's efficiency. I'm using the white and gold embossed wall, the bright marbled flooring, and the magnificent chandelier. If you don't have this chandelier, I recommend either the rustic chandelier or the chandelier of the deep, as they both provide similar lighting. As far as placement goes, we'll adjust these a bit later in the video. For now, just place one chandelier in each corner of the room. Now we're going to place 24 display pillars along each of the side walls. For this build, you're going to need a total of 120 display pillars. Thankfully, these can be crafted at your workbench, assuming you've progressed far enough with Pumbaa, and they are relatively cheap to make. Now that we've lined the side walls with pillars, each wall will receive a row of large marketplace chests. You should be able to fit 12 chests along each wall. If you don't have these chests, don't worry. You can unlock the large marketplace chests by advancing to Aladdin's level 10 quest. Once unlocked, these chests can be crafted using tinkering parts, gold, dark wood, and dry wood. Best of all, they fit just as much as a large storage chest and do not require Dreamlight to make. Moving on to the back wall, leave 2 spaces from the left row of chests and place a row of 14 display pillars. Now place 2 additional pillars coming down from the pillars furthest to the left and right. If done correctly, you should be able to fit 6 large chests into this zone. From here, move down 2 grid squares and mirror the build. In total, you're going to make 4 of these central storage structures, each time leaving 2 grid squares of space between them so they're easy to navigate. For my build, I chose to remove the 2 center chests along the back row and place the Jazz Age kitchen stove, as villagers commonly request meals for favorite gifts. This stove can be unlocked as Tiana's level 8 friendship quest reward. With our chest in place, it's time to adjust our chandeliers. Simply move the chandeliers so their grids align with the corners of the first and third structures. If done properly, the room should appear like so. Our next step will be to add a few details, accents, and elements to the room for a bit of flair. For the back wall, I used 3 seaside royal windows. And for the floor, I used the red carpet from the Ultimate Edition. If you don't have this carpet, feel free to experiment and use whatever feels best for you. For the front wall, I used the royal candy door and 2 crown molded windows. For each side wall, I used 6 crown molded windows. Again, you can use whatever windows or wall decor you would like. I just love the way these windows look, allowing light to flow into the room at sunset. From here, I did add a few more details, including a couple of golden ceiling lamps, as well as a guardian incense burner in the center of the room. All that remains is to place a vintage chest, and we'll be putting 2 by the front door to keep our symmetry and balance. With that, our room build is complete, and now it's time to organize our room and move in our materials. Keep in mind you can organize this room however you want, but I do have a pretty efficient and well-organized layout if you would like to copy it. The chests on the left side cover various crafting resources such as wood, soil, shards, ancient parts, and refined materials. The chests on the right side cover all cooking ingredients, including herbs, veggies, fruit, fish, and more. The central chests are for mining resources, flowers, and cooked meals. With that, let's get into the details. It's important for me to mention here that you want to avoid overfilling these chests, as you need to ensure you always have adequate space to empty your pockets at the end of your play sessions. And this is why I still recommend having themed storage rooms or bulk storage rooms within your valley. The concept behind this room is to provide a one-stop location for dropping off materials or picking up favorite gifts. When any chest within this room does start to get too full, it's important to transfer some of the items out. Though, to always ensure you have enough favorite gifts on hand, I recommend keeping 1 to 2 stacks of every item, with the exception of meals. As far as your chest displays, the display pillars only hold single square items, and I mostly focused on using smaller items to keep the room from feeling too cluttered. Now let's break down the layout. Starting with the left-hand side, our first chest is for common wood such as softwood and hardwood. The second chest is for uncommon wood, which includes all other wood variants. I chose to mark these chests with tiny chairs, as tropical wood is the only wood variant that will fit on a single square, and it's a bit too large for my liking. The third chest is for dream shards, night shards, and purified shards. The fourth chest is for all valley digging resources, including soil, sand, snow, clay, and pebbles. The fifth chest is for all DLC digging resources, such as amber, fairy bubbles, and more. The sixth chest is for a handful of what I would consider to be uncommon crafting components, such as moss, pine cones, plastic, scales, and sea monster teeth. I also threw some bones in this chest to save room on chest number 5. The seventh chest is for time-bending cores, time-bending parts, and glimmer. Chest number 8 is for all time-bending gifts. Chest number 9 is for all of the game's various snippets. Chest 10 is for refined crafting materials such as fiber, rope, tinkering parts, glass, fabric, and vials. Chest 11 is for the game's many refined ingots. And finally, chest number 12 is for various event items and other miscellaneous odds and ends that you would like to store. Now let's move on to the right side of the storage room. Chest number 1 is for all Valley ground forageables, excluding those from Dazzle Beach. Chest 2 is for all DLC ground forageables. Chest 3 is for all Valley gardening ingredients. Chest 4 is for all DLC gardening ingredients. Chest 5 is for all Valley tree and bush forageables. Chest 6 is for all DLC tree and bush forageables. Both Chest 7 and Chest 8 are for Valley fishing ingredients and seafood such as clams and oysters. Chest 9 is for all DLC fishing ingredients. Chest 10 is for all Remy ingredients. Chest 11 is for all other purchasable ingredients from Goofy Stall, Mulan Stall, and Gaston Stall. And finally, Chest 12 is for various seeds. Now we'll explore these central chests. Our first row of chests are marked by opal and contain all of the game's raw mining resources. Chest 1 is for both basic and important mining components such as stone, coal, onyx, vitalis crystals, petrified wood, and crystal. Chest 2 is for all unrefined ore and quartz. Chest 3 is for all regular and shiny Valley minerals. Chest 4 is for all regular and shiny Eternity Isle minerals. Chest 5 is for all regular and shiny Storybook Vale minerals. And I've left Chest 6 open for whatever DLC comes next. Our next row of chests houses all of the game's various flowers, and is marked by orange glowing lily pads. The first chest is for penstemons, dandelions, roses, and bellflowers. The second chest is for hyacinths, milkweed, sunflowers, daisies, and star lilies. The third is for passion lilies, house leeks, bromeliads, nasturtiums, and impatiens. The fourth is for luminescent flowers and birds of paradise. The fifth is for pitcher plants, cacti, Venus flytraps, and glass flowers. And the sixth chest is for all Storybook Vale flowers. Moving on to our final two rows. They both contain the game's many different cooked meals in alphabetical order. The first 3 chests contain most entrees. The next 3 chests contain most appetizers. Within the final row, the 2 chests on the left hold various desserts, and the 2 chests on the right are just enough to hold the meals from Storybook Vale. With that, we've covered the entire room. If you're curious as to why I like keeping so many meals on hand, I just enjoy decorating with them in my Dreamsnaps, and it's nice to be able to grab pre-made meals for favorite gifts. If you don't want to stash this many meals, feel free to use the last 2 rows for whatever you'd like. If you found today's video helpful, informative, or simply entertaining, please do me a very big favor and press that like button. Also, consider subscribing for more Disney Dreamlight Valley and gaming content. It's a great time to subscribe because I have an amazing video on the way, a project I've been working on for a year and a half. My first ever 100-day survival video. If that's your cup of tea, be sure to check it out. If you would like to catch more of my content, you can find me live on Twitch, Monday through Friday. Links to both my Twitch channel and Discord server can be found in the video description down below. As always, thank you so much for your time today, and I hope you enjoy the future of Disney Dreamlight Valley.